Okay, just a quick heads up. There will be a lot more background noises in the video and the audio. I don't know what caused them, but I was trying a new mic setting, so I have to figure out the kinks of that. So hopefully it doesn't distract you from the review, because I've worked really hard on this. Anyway, on to the review itself. Ladies and gentlemen. Who am I kidding? Gentlemen, it's been 1 year ever since I started this little project on YouTube, and this means two things. A, I've wasted a year on this show that nobody watches, and B, we gotta celebrate. I've actually never tried with you before, so I don't know how this will go. Probably get everywhere, but anyway. Woo! Hey, there we go. I don't know why I did this, it is like insanely hard in this costume. This started out as a humble little show made with no budget, and today it is still a humble little show with no budget. Okay, nothing has changed, but still, 52 reviews so far, and you can see how the show has evolved, be it the length of the episodes increasing, actual music in the videos, or me being open to having fun in these reviews. Admittedly, I think I've been a little too hard on a few games, but this isn't a retrospective. We're here to actually review a game. I think it's ironic how my first review was on one of my favourite games, Beholder 2, and a year later we're reviewing one of my least favourite games, Dear Esther. Dear Esther is about a man who wanders on an island. Wait, that's it? Okay, let me see my notes. Oh. Okay, well, since I can't think of anything, here's some things I can talk about. Stu Backfull was a great YouTuber and you should watch his videos, especially his miniseries Class, which is devilishly good. Speaking of YouTubers, if you like bad horror stories being trashed, go watch Bad Creepypasta, which is a phenomenal and entertaining series. Speaking of horror, go and watch Inside Number 9 if you haven't already, which is like Black Mirror if it was more British and technology wasn't heavily involved. I'll be giving my thoughts on the show's latest episodes and have something planned for in October if I'm not lazy enough. Finally, go watch BattleBots. I've got nothing more to say about it, just look at this shit, it's crazy.
Oh, a huge hit by Witch Doctor, and another one! Oh, Witch Doctor!
Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, Dear Esther. Fun fact, this game was actually a mod of Half-Life 2 at some point. I find that interesting? Great, because that's all I found interesting about Dear Esther. Why I consider it to be one of my least favourite games is that there's nothing I can talk about. I prefer a game to be bad rather than boring because at least with a bad game you have something to talk about. But why exactly is it bad? Well, simple. There's barely any gameplay and the story isn't interesting. You may argue that it's because it's a walking sim, but I consider that to be not worthy, so let's compare it to other walking sims I've played and see why it doesn't work. First up, Tacoma. Tacoma is a game where you interact with messages from a spaceship, but the messages have a different context depending on where you follow the figures shown. And it is a good game. It's got a good story, and it mixes up the gameplay with the messages. Next, What Remains of Edith Finch. While it certainly isn't breaking the mold in terms of gameplay, what makes it great is its emotional and beautiful story it presents, the music involved, how it looks, and just generally having a great atmosphere. And finally, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. This may be a bit biased because, like What Remains of Edith Finch, Ethan Carter is one of my favourite games of all time, but it has a great haunting atmosphere, one of the most interesting stories I've seen in the game, and shocker, actual gameplay in a walking sim? Preposterous! Now, let's look at Dear Esther. I literally could not remember a single thing about this story, and I'm sorry to all the Dear Esther fans out there watching this, but I think that if I try hard enough, I can only muster a single paragraph about the game, hence why most of this review was on other stuff. But do I consider it to be the worst game I've ever played? No. I do respect the game making process, and while it may be fun to slag off shit games like others have done, I understand that at least one person put actual thought into the games they're making and gave a shit. And really, that's what I love about games. You often get something different, whether that be a new experience or well-written story, memorable characters, or other things. Mostly I like giving publicity to little indie games with small studios that I find, making more people aware of them and hopefully picking up the game for themselves. At the start of the series around a year ago, I had maybe 9 games planned out and made a little video in an hour or so, and it eventually got to the point where I was playing around 10 new games a month, trying to sort out the video which would be eating up my free time, and now I'm in game 53 from a total of 73. In retrospect, there are a few reviews that I'm not that fond of, whether it be from time constraints or the audio quality, but there are a few I am pretty fond of, as it shows how the show has progressed through the months. For those of you who actually took the time to watch these, like it, and even comment, words cannot describe how grateful I am for you. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Hey folks, thanks for sticking to the end of this review. If you like what you saw here, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate you guys making comments on these videos. They make up my day and I read every single one of them. If you like what you saw here, feel free to look at the newest review and look at the latest review. And if you want to watch more, feel free to hit that bell so you know when a new review drops. See ya and thanks for watching.